High in the hills of Asuka, Japan, stands a massive stone structure that has left experts baffled for decades. It's called the Masuda no Iwafun, which loosely translates to Rock Ship of Masuda, and it really does look like a giant ship carved entirely from a single block of granite. Weighing over 800 tons, the structure measures around 36 feet long, 26 feet wide, and 15 feet high. That's not just large, that's enormous. And here's the twist. It's not a ruin, it was never finished, yet it shows signs of precise, intentional carving that seems far beyond the capabilities of the time. No tools have ever been found at the site. No inscriptions, no evidence of what this was meant to be, just that rock standing there, silent and massive. Its flat top has 2 square holes carved deep into it, and no one knows why. There are no tombs nearby, no shrines, no temples, just this lonely, perfectly carved monolith, sitting on a slope like it was dropped from the sky. Some researchers think it was meant to be part of a tomb complex. Others say it might have had an astronomical purpose, but none of that really explains the size, the precision, or the fact that it was seemingly abandoned halfway through for no reason at all. Now here's where it gets even stranger. The surrounding area is filled with legends of sky beings and ancient visitors. People have long whispered that Asuka was once a place where heavenly ships landed. That would explain why the Masuda rock looks like a vessel. Some theorists believe it's not a tomb or a calendar, but a docking station, a landing pad for something that came from the stars. The resemblance to a spacecraft isn't subtle. In fact, if this were a prop in an episode of Ancient Aliens, no one would question it. And yet it's real. Standing in Japan, open to visitors, defying explanation, it's one of those places that gives you the feeling that maybe, just maybe, we're missing a chapter of our history books. Scattered across the jungles and fields of Costa Rica are hundreds of nearly perfect stone spheres. Some are small enough to hold in your hands. Others weigh over 15 tons and are almost 7 feet in diameter. The most unbelievable part? They're carved with extreme symmetry, many so perfectly round that modern engineers are still trying to figure out how ancient people could have achieved it, especially without metal tools. Discovered in the 1930s during a banana plantation clearing, the spheres were buried under centuries of soil, sitting there quietly as if waiting to be found, and no one knows exactly who made them. They're linked to the Dikis culture, but the real method of their creation is a mystery. The rock used, mostly granodiorite, had to be sourced and moved from miles away, then shaped, smoothed, and polished. With what, and for what? Some believe the spheres were used for astronomical alignment or religious rituals. But others point out the eerie similarity to planetary models. Spheres, aligned in patterns. Could they be markers, maps, signals to someone or something watching from above? They've been compared to the Death Star from Star Wars, but these are real. Heavy, silent, ancient, sitting in the middle of a rainforest. Was this geometry a coincidence, or were the builders working with knowledge, or tools, far ahead of their time? From polished spheres to sheer mass, we now head to Baalbek, Lebanon. In the ruins of this ancient city lies a construction that breaks every rule of human engineering. The Temple of Jupiter at Baalbek was built using some of the largest stones ever carved by man, or maybe by something else. Some blocks weigh over 1,200 tons. That's nearly twice the weight of the Statue of Liberty. And yet, they were precisely placed on top of one another, forming the foundation of a temple complex. To this day, we don't have machines powerful enough to lift those stones the way they were arranged, let alone drag them uphill from a quarry half a mile away. There are no cranes, no vehicles, no clear explanation. Ancient texts don't help. The people who built this left behind little to no documentation. That's led to theories, lots of them. Some say it was the work of a lost civilization that had access to advanced lifting tech. Others suggest help from something not of this earth. The blocks sit so perfectly, so seamlessly, that even with modern laser cutting we'd struggle to replicate it on this scale. And here's the twist. The Romans later built a temple on top of this platform. That means even they didn't know how the base was made. They just found it and built over it, like kids stacking blocks on an already finished toy. How did these stones get there? Who moved them? And what kind of power would it take to make that happen? The deeper you look, the stranger it gets. High atop Mount Nemrut in southeastern Turkey, at an elevation of over 7,000 feet, an ancient riddle sits in silence. Enormous stone heads, some as tall as 10 feet, lie scattered across a man-made terrace. They once crowned massive statues that portrayed gods, eagles, lions, and even a self-portrait of the king who ordered them. Antiochus thirst. But what truly captures attention isn't just their size. It's the haunting feeling that these heads are far older, far more mysterious than history dares to admit. Nobody knows exactly how these colossal figures were transported up such steep terrain with the limited tools of the 1st century BC. No wheeled vehicles, no advanced pulleys, no cranes, just manpower, supposedly. Yet the precision and scale suggest something more. These heads weren't just built to impress mortals. They seem positioned for a cosmic audience, gazing skyward as if awaiting someone or something from the stars. Some theorists propose that Mount Nemrut was more than a royal tomb. They believe it was a beacon, a kind of cosmic marker, signaling to higher beings that Earthlings still remembered them. With its astronomical alignments and isolated location, it feels eerily like a landing site, a monumental greeting to travelers from beyond. Modern archaeologists explain the heads as simple political propaganda, maybe. But if that's true, why do they seem almost too grand, too massive, even for a king's ego? Standing before them, you can't help but wonder if these stone giants were meant to watch the skies for something bigger than human ambition. Beneath the sands of Egypt, deep inside the tunnels of Saqqara, researchers uncovered a series of enormous stone sarcophagi. So massive that even today moving them would be a serious engineering challenge. Each granite box weighs between 60 and 80 tons. Their walls are carved with incredible precision, with edges so smooth you could almost mistake them for machine-cut surfaces. These boxes, located in the Serapeum, were believed to have been built for sacred bulls. But the deeper experts dig into the mystery, the less that explanation seems to fit. The dimensions of the sarcophagi are what really stir the imagination. They look like they were made for beings much larger than ordinary humans. Some researchers believe they weren't meant for animals at all, but for giant rulers, maybe even visitors from beyond. The lids alone weigh more than most modern cars, so who had the strength and knowledge to carve, transport, and lower them into place underground with such perfection? Adding fuel to the fire, images have circulated of a different discovery, a mysterious golden sarcophagus, recently unearthed, containing what appears to be a non-human figure. While the authenticity of that particular find remains debated, it matches the ancient whispers, beings from the stars, preserved in forgotten tombs, waiting to be rediscovered. Official explanations tie the sarcophagi to religious practices, but there's an undeniable sense that something is missing, something too big, too advanced, and too carefully hidden in plain sight. Were these giant boxes really made for bulls, or are they the last remnants of a time when Earth's true rulers were much more than human? And if they were, where did they go? In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, rises a structure that looks almost too purposeful to be random. Ziggurats' massive step pyramids built thousands of years ago, with foundations so solid they've survived the crush of time and conquest. The Great Ziggurat of Ur is the most famous, its layered tiers stretching toward the heavens. But what makes these structures truly fascinating isn't just their size or age, it's who they were built for. Ancient Sumerian texts talk about the Anunnaki, powerful beings who descended from the sky and ruled Earth. These weren't simple gods in robes and sandals, they were described as advanced, almost otherworldly figures. And the ziggurats? Some researchers believe they weren't just temples, they were literal landing platforms. Beacons for these sky beings to touch down safely on Earth. The construction techniques themselves are suspiciously sophisticated. The orientation, the materials, even the drainage systems, hint at knowledge far beyond what should have been available at the time. Ziggurats were built with such precision that their outlines are still visible from the sky today, like a message left behind for someone far above to see. Mainstream archaeology says these structures were places of worship. But why the obsession with reaching higher? Why the repeated references to gods who came from above? Watching old shows like Stargate SG-1, where ancient temples hide alien technology, suddenly doesn't seem so far-fetched. Maybe the Sumerians weren't just building to honor the heavens. Maybe they were building for beings who once traveled across them, and maybe, just maybe, they're waiting for a return. Just outside modern-day St. Louis, across the Mississippi River, lies a place that barely shows up in history books, but maybe it should. Cahokia was once the largest city north of Mexico, a thriving civilization with grand plazas, astronomical alignments, and giant earthen mounds that still baffle archaeologists. The biggest of them, Monk's Mound, covers 14 acres and rises nearly 100 feet high. Moving that much soil with simple hand tools and baskets sounds almost impossible, yet it happened. Or at least that's what we're told. Some local legends whisper that the mounds weren't just ceremonial, they were built by, or for, giant beings. Skeletons measuring over 7 feet have allegedly been unearthed near Cahokia and throughout the Midwest, though official reports quickly dismissed them as myths or mistakes. Still, the sheer scale of the city and its mysterious collapse around 1400 AD keeps questions alive. Were these mounds meant to honor the skies or to mark the graves of beings much larger and stronger than we know today? Standing atop Monk's Mound today, the view stretches for miles. And you can't help but feel you're standing on something older and stranger than anyone ever admits. The feeling that maybe the land still remembers who really built it. At the bottom of the world, buried under endless ice and snow, a series of pyramid-shaped structures has set the internet and scientific communities buzzing. Satellite images show distinct triangular peaks poking out of Antarctica's icy blanket, with some sides and angles almost too perfect to be natural. The most famous, located near the Ellsworth Mountains, looks so much like a classic pyramid that some have called it the Second Giza. Scientists officially say these are nunataks, rocky peaks poking through glaciers, shaped by millennia of wind and ice. But not everyone buys that simple explanation. The clean lines, the symmetrical faces, the way they seem to form geometric patterns, it feels less like erosion and more like construction. By whom? That's the real question. Some theories suggest remnants of a lost civilization, frozen in time before Antarctica turned to ice. Others go even deeper, proposing that ancient visitors from space used the frozen continent as a base, a hidden staging ground for activities far beyond human understanding. After all, Antarctica remains one of the least explored regions on Earth. If ancient explorers once built pyramids in Giza, Teotihuacan, and elsewhere, could it really be that impossible that an even older, more advanced group left their mark here too, waiting quietly under the ice for someone to notice? Off the coast of Italy, on the island of Sardinia, something incredible lay hidden for centuries. In the 1970s, farmers plowing their fields stumbled upon fragments of enormous stone statues. When archaeologists pieced them together, they revealed towering figures, warriors, archers, and boxers, each more than 7 feet tall. These became known as the Giants of Mont'e Prama. The statues date back nearly 3,000 years, but even today, they raise more questions than answers. Their proportions are unusual: broad shoulders, oversized eyes, and powerful, imposing builds. They don't quite match any known artistic style of the Mediterranean world. Some researchers suggest they depict real beings, not ordinary humans, but giants who may have once roamed Sardinia and left their mark on its culture. Adding to the mystery, scattered reports and leaked images over the years hint at the discovery of massive skeletal remains in remote parts of the world, sometimes resembling beings far larger than modern humans. While official explanations are often vague, the similarities are hard to ignore. Now, when we look at the Mont'e Prama giants, it's not just their size that stands out, it's the feeling they were carved to preserve the memory of something real, something extraordinary. Were these figures guardians, visitors from a forgotten era, or perhaps even echoes of beings whose origins lie far beyond what we understand today? High on the windswept Altiplano of Bolivia, near the ruins of Tiwanaku, stands the Gate of the Sun, a massive stone arch carved from a single block of andesite. It's around 9 feet tall and 13 feet wide, decorated with mysterious engravings that include a central figure often called the Weeping God, and dozens of strange winged creatures. Archaeologists date the site to around 1500 years ago, but the precision and symbolism carved into the stone suggests something even older, and much harder to explain. The gate appears to have no real practical purpose. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's just there, standing alone like a forgotten doorway between worlds. Some researchers believe it was meant to be part of a larger complex, while others propose something much more thrilling, that it functioned as a kind of stargate, a portal used by ancient beings to travel between realms. The precision of the carvings, the cosmic symbols, and the legends of Tiwanaku all point toward something more advanced than simple tribal worship. There are even theories connecting the Gate of the Sun to lost civilizations like Atlantis, or to beings from distant stars. Local myths say Tiwanaku was built by giants in a single night. Maybe the gate wasn't meant for human passage at all, but for travelers not entirely of this earth. In an ancient quarry near Aswan, Egypt, lies a monument that could have changed history, if only it had been completed. The unfinished obelisk, still attached to the bedrock, stretches over 137 feet long and would have weighed nearly 1,200 tons. That's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 747. Ancient builders had started carving it directly out of the granite, but cracks appeared, and the project was mysteriously abandoned. The questions pile up fast. How did they plan to lift such a colossal stone? How would they have transported it miles away to be erected upright? Even today, with modern cranes, it would be nearly impossible. The tools believed to have existed at the time, simple copper chisels and dolerite hammers, don't seem capable of producing the smooth surfaces and sharp cuts visible at the site. Some theories suggest the use of lost technologies, perhaps sound-based lifting techniques or unknown forms of energy. Others whisper that ancient Egypt had help, from civilizations far older and more advanced than what is officially recognized. Standing beside the unfinished obelisk today feels like peering into a window where something extraordinary once happened, and then, for reasons unknown, stopped forever. Beneath the rolling landscapes of Cappadocia, Turkey, lies a hidden world, vast underground cities carved deep into volcanic rock. The most famous, Derinkuyu, stretches 18 stories underground and could house up to 20,000 people, along with livestock, food, and water supplies. Narrow corridors, heavy stone doors, air shafts. It's not a primitive hideout. It's a masterpiece of subterranean engineering. What could have driven people to live so far beneath the surface? Conventional explanations suggest they were hiding from invading armies, but the complexity and scale hint at a much greater threat. The tunnels are built to withstand far more than a simple siege. Thick stone doors could only be rolled into place from the inside, and labyrinthine designs seem intended to confuse and slow down intruders, or something even more dangerous. Some researchers propose a chilling idea. These cities weren't just protecting people from human enemies, they were shielding them from something much larger, much more powerful. The legends of sky beings, natural disasters, and wars between gods often surface in Cappadocian folklore. When walking the endless, twisting tunnels, the walls seem to whisper a simple but chilling question. What were they so desperate to escape from? And could it come back? Along the rugged coast of Northern Ireland lies one of the strangest landscapes on Earth, the Giant's Causeway. Thousands of interlocking basalt columns, mostly hexagonal, stretch into the sea like the broken remnants of an ancient road. Officially, this marvel was created around 50 million years ago by volcanic activity, but when you stand there looking at the perfect geometric shapes stretching across the shore, the volcanic story feels almost too neat. Some columns are over 40 feet tall, and the precision of their formation seems almost intentional. Local legends tell a different story, that the causeway was built by a giant named Fionn McCumhale, who needed a path to Scotland to face a rival. While the tale sounds like folklore, it hints at something deeper, a collective memory of beings far larger and more powerful than we are today. In recent years, some theorists have raised the idea that the Giant's Causeway might not be entirely natural. Could it be evidence of ancient terraforming, shaped either by a forgotten advanced civilization or by forces from beyond? Its sharp lines and regular patterns look like the kind of project meant to be seen from far above, maybe by eyes not entirely human. Standing on the columns, the ocean crashing nearby, you can't shake the feeling. Maybe nature had a little help here. Hidden beneath the small village of Xianbeikun in China, lies one of the most baffling discoveries of the modern era. In the 1990s, locals drained ponds and uncovered massive man-made caves, 24 of them, carved with perfect symmetry and an attention to detail that modern machinery would struggle to match. No records, no legends, no historical documents even mention their construction. The caves plunge more than 100 feet deep, with flat ceilings, polished walls, and intricate chisel marks that run uniformly throughout. Engineers who have studied the caves estimate that tens of thousands of tons of rock would have had to be removed. Yet there's no debris, no spoil heaps. Where did all the stone go? How was it even possible? The Longyou Caves don't look like rough shelters or basic storage spaces. They look engineered, designed with purpose. Some theorists suggest these underground structures were built by an unknown civilization, maybe even one that didn't think or work the way humans do. When you realize that these caves would have required coordinated labor, advanced planning, and engineering skills beyond anything known in ancient China, the mind starts to race. Were they hiding something underground? Or were they preparing for something they knew was coming, something that would make survival on the surface impossible? Off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan, divers discovered something in the 1980s that still sparks heated debate. Beneath the waves lies a massive stone structure, terraces, sharp edges, flat walls, and what appears to be a grand staircase leading upward. Some say it's a natural formation, the result of underwater erosion. But when you see the almost perfectly straight lines and right angles, that explanation starts to feel thin. The monument stretches over 165 feet long and 65 feet wide, with towering platforms and pillars that seem far too orderly for nature alone. Some researchers believe it's the ruins of an ancient city that sank long before history even began, maybe 10,000 years ago when sea levels were much lower. Others suggest something even more fantastic, that the site wasn't built by ordinary humans at all. Local legends speak of an ancient kingdom swallowed by the sea, and when you glide past the submerged corridors and stairways, it's easy to believe that maybe, just maybe, someone built it, and that someone wasn't like us. Scattered across Easter Island are nearly 1,000 massive stone figures known as the moai. Some stand over 30 feet tall and weigh more than 80 tons. Carved from volcanic rock and transported miles from their quarry, they stare inland with an eerie, timeless gaze. How these giants were moved has puzzled researchers for decades. The islanders say they walked. That's not a metaphor. It's part of the oral history. The moai were said to move upright, guided by some unknown force. Recent experiments have shown that with ropes and a precise rhythm, small teams can rock a statue side to side and slowly move it forward. But these tests only work on smaller replicas, not on the full-size giants buried halfway in the ground. So the mystery remains. Were the moai simply a feat of human determination, or were they animated by something ancient, something lost? As they stand watch over an empty land, you can't help but feel that they weren't just built to be seen, they were meant to be remembered, or maybe reactivated. Imagine stumbling across this massive stone face, hidden deep within a forgotten quarry, surrounded by jagged cliffs and untouched wilderness. Its cracked surface and hollow eyes seem to watch you, as though alive, yet no one knows who carved it or why. Locals claim it's older than humanity itself, a relic of a vanished civilization, or perhaps a warning left by beings far more advanced than us. Standing before it, the air feels heavy with secrets, as if the face holds knowledge we're not meant to understand. Is it a monument to forgotten gods or proof that our history hides far stranger truths? The answer is still unknown. Hidden in the sands of Abydos, Egypt, the Osirian defies explanation. This underground temple is made of massive granite blocks, some weighing over 130,000 pounds, fitted so precisely it seems beyond the capabilities of ancient Egyptians. Unlike ornate temples like Karnak, its stark design suggests it might be far older, possibly built by a lost civilization. Often called the Tomb of Osiris, the Osirian's purpose remains a mystery. Its central chamber, now submerged in water, feels like a portal to another world, resembling the mythical abyss of ancient texts. Was it a gateway to the afterlife? Or did it serve an unknown advanced purpose? Its design and construction challenge our understanding of ancient technology, leaving us wondering what secrets still lie buried beneath the sands. Now let's leave the deserts of Egypt for the sunny mysteries of Florida, where one man's incredible creation defies logic: the Coral Castle. In Homestead, Florida, the Coral Castle is a baffling marvel. Built by Edward Leeds-Kalnin, this collection of coral stone sculptures includes blocks weighing up to 60,000 pounds, all moved and carved by a single man. How did he do it? Leeds-Kalnin worked secretly at night, claiming he discovered the building secrets of the ancient Egyptians, but he never revealed his methods. The stones fit so perfectly no light passes between them, and an 18,000-pound revolving door was so perfectly balanced, a child could push it open. Modern engineers couldn't replicate its function after it stopped working. Leeds-Kalnin said he built the castle as a tribute to lost love, but some believe he tapped into magnetic fields or even anti-gravity. Whatever the truth, the Coral Castle is a testament to one man's genius and the mysteries of human innovation. Nestled in a sheer cliff face in Arizona, Montezuma Castle is one of the most enigmatic ancient dwellings in North America. This 5-story structure, built by the Sinagua people nearly 1,000 years ago, perches 100 feet above the valley floor, seemingly unreachable without modern climbing gear. Its placement raises countless questions. How did they transport materials to such a height? And why build it there at all? The castle isn't a castle at all, nor is it connected to Montezuma, the Aztec emperor. Early European settlers mistakenly linked it to the Aztecs due to its grandeur. The dwelling has over 20 rooms, carved meticulously into the limestone rock, and seems designed for safety and seclusion. Perhaps it was protection against invaders, or maybe its height held spiritual significance. Archaeologists still puzzle over how the Sinagua managed to engineer such a structure without advanced tools. The mystery of Montezuma Castle lies not only in its construction, but in the sudden disappearance of its creators. Around 1400 AD, the Sinagua vanished, leaving behind no clear explanation. What secrets could this ancient cliffside marvel hold? As we marvel at its height and mystery, let's journey to the highlands of Peru, where another ancient enigma is waiting for us. A doorway to nowhere known as the Doorway of Aramumuru. Carved into a solid rock face in the Peruvian Andes, the Doorway of Aramumuru is a strange and solitary monument. The door is over 20 feet tall and 20 feet wide, but it leads nowhere. It's a blank stone wall. Local legends, however, suggest it leads everywhere. Some say it's a portal to another dimension, used by ancient priests and shamans to access spiritual realms. Others believe it was a ceremonial gateway to the land of the gods. The craftsmanship is astonishing. The doorway appears perfectly smooth, with a shallow circular depression in the center. Legends tell of a priest who used a golden disc known as the Key of the Gods to activate the doorway and vanish into another world. Even today, visitors report strange sensations near the monument, from sudden chills to an inexplicable sense of awe. The true purpose of Aramumuru is unknown. Was it a symbolic spiritual marker, a ceremonial site, or something more advanced? Its presence raises endless possibilities, bridging the line between myth and reality. From this mysterious doorway, we journey to Bolivia, where the ancient ruins of Pumapunku challenge everything we know about ancient engineering. High on the Altiplano Plateau of Bolivia lies Pumapunku, an archaeological site that seems ripped from the pages of science fiction. Unlike most ancient ruins, Pumapunku isn't built with crude stone blocks. It's constructed with impossibly precise interlocking stones, some weighing over 285,000 pounds. The cuts are so perfect they look machine-made, with grooves and drill holes that would require advanced tools even today. Pumapunku was part of the Tiwanaku culture flourishing over 1,000 years ago, but its construction techniques and purpose remain a mystery. How did an ancient society with no written language or evidence of the wheel carve and transport such enormous stones? Even more baffling is the symmetry and precision of the blocks, some of which fit together like pieces of a giant jigsaw puzzle. Legends among the local Aymara people suggest that Pumapunku was built in a single night by gods who descended from the sky. Could this site be evidence of ancient extraterrestrial contact, or did the Tiwanaku possess knowledge lost to time? The ruins of Pumapunku leave us questioning the limits of human ingenuity, and whether our ancestors might have been far more advanced than we realize. From these high-altitude mysteries, our next journey takes us to one of the most incredible wells in the world. In the arid state of Rajasthan, India, lies Chand Bauri, one of the most mesmerizing and mysterious architectural wonders of the ancient world. This stepwell, built over 1,200 years ago, descends nearly 100 feet into the earth, forming an intricate maze of over 3,500 narrow steps arranged in perfect geometric symmetry. It wasn't just a practical solution for water storage, it's a testament to an era of extraordinary engineering and artistry. The well served as a vital source of water in the harsh desert climate, but its design is what truly captivates. Descending into its depths, the temperature drops dramatically, creating a cool refuge from the scorching heat above. Chand Bauri's construction is a marvel. Each step aligns so precisely that it creates a dizzying visual effect, almost as if it were a portal to another dimension. Some legends say it was built overnight by spirits or jinns, while others suggest it was created for ritualistic purposes beyond mere water collection. Its true purpose remains a mystery, as does the identity of the brilliant minds who designed it. From this geometric marvel of the desert, we travel to a windswept plateau in Armenia, where another enigma awaits, a site of ancient standing stones known as the Zorats Karer. Zorats Karer, often called the Armenian Stonehenge, is an ancient site shrouded in mystery. Located in the highlands of Armenia, this sprawling complex features over 200 upright stones, many of which have perfectly drilled holes at their tops. Dating back more than 7,500 years, the site is one of the oldest astronomical observatories ever discovered, but its purpose goes far beyond mere stargazing. Some archaeologists believe Zorats Karer was used to track celestial events like solstices, while others think it served as a burial ground for ancient elites. The drilled holes align with the stars, suggesting an advanced understanding of astronomy long before the invention of telescopes. What's even more puzzling is how the ancient Armenians managed to shape and transport these massive stones without modern tools. Legends say the site was a place of great spiritual power, where ancient priests communicated with celestial beings. Whether it was a ceremonial site, a scientific observatory, or something entirely different, Zorats Karer continues to baffle experts. Leaving the windswept stones behind, we journey to Africa, where the great Zimbabwe ruins stand as a testament to a forgotten empire. Hidden in the rolling hills of southeastern Africa, the great Zimbabwe ruins are the remnants of a once mighty civilization. These massive stone structures, built without any mortar, date back nearly 1,000 years and stretch over 200 acres, making them the largest ancient ruins in sub-Saharan Africa. At the heart of the site is the Great Enclosure, a towering wall over 30 feet tall and 800 feet in circumference, made entirely of carefully stacked granite blocks. What makes the ruins so mysterious is the lack of written records. Who built them, and how did they achieve such architectural precision without advanced tools? The civilization behind Great Zimbabwe is believed to have been the center of a powerful trading empire, with connections as far away as China and the Middle East. Yet its sudden decline remains unexplained. Some local legends say the site was built by giants, while others claim it was the work of divine beings. Archaeologists suggest it was a royal palace or a religious center, but the exact purpose of its intricate design eludes us. Perched on the edge of a sheer cliff nearly 3,000 feet above the Paro Valley in Bhutan, the Paro Taktsang monastery seems to defy gravity. Also known as the Tiger's Nest, this sacred site is a place of immense spiritual significance, shrouded in myth and breathtaking beauty. Built in 1692, the monastery is said to mark the spot where Guru Padmasambhava, an 8th century Buddhist master, meditated for 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, and 3 hours. According to legend, he flew to this spot on the back of a tigress, giving the monastery its iconic name. The construction of Paro Taktsang seems almost impossible. The rugged terrain and sheer cliffs make accessing the site a challenge even today. The monastery is accessible only by a steep hiking trail, and yet centuries ago, its builders managed to transport materials and erect the intricate wooden structures that cling to the rocks. With its precarious placement and serene surroundings, the monastery feels otherworldly, as if suspended between earth and the heavens. As we leave this mystical mountaintop, we journey to southern Italy, where an equally enigmatic structure, the Castel del Monte, rises from the plains. Standing alone on a hilltop in Apulia, Italy, the Castel del Monte is an architectural puzzle that has baffled historians for centuries. Built in the mid-13th century by Emperor Frederick II, this octagonal castle is a masterpiece of geometry and symmetry. Unlike typical medieval castles, it has no moat, no defensive walls, and no signs of a military purpose. Its design combines elements of Islamic, classical, and Gothic architecture, leaving scholars to wonder what was its true purpose. The castle's octagonal shape is unique, with 8 towers placed at each corner. The number 8 is thought to have symbolic significance, representing infinity and balance. Inside, the rooms are arranged in a perfect harmony of proportion, suggesting the structure might have been used as an observatory, a hunting lodge, or even a place for secret rituals. The lack of historical records only deepens the mystery, fueling speculation about its connection to alchemy or the Knights Templar. From the Castel del Monte's mathematical precision, we move to the rolling hills of Malaysia, where a more personal mystery unfolds in the haunting beauty of Kelly's Castle. Nestled among the lush greenery of Perak, Malaysia, Kelly's Castle stands as a haunting monument to ambition and heartbreak. Built in the early 20th century by Scottish planter William Kelly Smith, the castle was meant to be a grand symbol of love and legacy. However, its construction was abruptly halted when Smith died of pneumonia in 1926, leaving the castle incomplete and its halls eerily silent. Kelly's Castle blends Western and Eastern architectural styles with Moorish arches, Greco-Roman columns, and elements inspired by Indian temples. One of its most mysterious features is an elevator shaft, intended to house the first elevator in Malaysia, which was never completed. Secret tunnels run beneath the castle, adding an air of intrigue to its already mysterious aura. Locals whisper tales of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena, claiming that Smith's restless spirit still roams the corridors. On the island of Crete, the Palace of Knossos stands as a window into the mysterious Minoan civilization, one of the earliest advanced societies in Europe. This sprawling complex, covering over 150,000 square feet, was constructed around 3,000 years ago and served as the political and ceremonial heart of Minoan culture. But its intricate layout and vivid frescoes have sparked countless questions about its purpose and the people who built it. The palace's labyrinthine design is said to have inspired the myth of the Minotaur, a half-man, half-bull creature that lived in a maze. The sheer complexity of Knossos suggests it may have been more than a royal residence. Some believe it was a center for religious rituals or an administrative hub. Excavations have revealed advanced features like a sophisticated drainage system and colorful murals depicting bull-leaping ceremonies, hinting at a culture rich in symbolism and mystery. Despite its grandeur, the Minoans disappeared mysteriously around 1200 BCE, possibly due to a volcanic eruption or an invasion. Their legacy, however, lives on in the myths and ruins of Knossos. Leaving the Mediterranean behind, we now travel to the surreal landscapes of Cappadocia, where the fairy chimneys whisper tales of ancient ingenuity and survival. In the heart of Turkey, the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia rise like something from a dream. These natural rock formations, sculpted by centuries of volcanic eruptions and erosion, served as the foundation for an astonishing feat of human creativity. For thousands of years, people carved homes, churches, and entire cities into the soft volcanic rock, creating an underground world unlike anything else on Earth. One of the most fascinating examples is Derinkuyu, an underground city that plunges over 200 feet deep and could house up to 20,000 people. These subterranean dwellings, connected by tunnels, were used as shelters during times of invasion. Above ground, the chimneys themselves have been transformed into cave homes and monasteries, some of which are still in use today. The interiors are cool and dark, with walls adorned with ancient carvings and frescoes that reveal the deep spirituality of the people who lived here. The fairy chimneys blur the line between natural wonder and human ingenuity, standing as a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness of ancient civilizations. As we leave the magical terrain of Cappadocia, we head to India, where a temple carved entirely from a single rock challenges everything we think we know about ancient construction. In Maharashtra, India, the Kailasa Temple of Ellora defies belief. This massive structure, part of the Ellora Caves complex, was carved from a single basalt cliff face in the 8th century. The temple is dedicated to Lord Shiva, and is the largest monolithic structure in the world, featuring towering pillars, intricately carved sculptures, and a central shrine that seems to float in its courtyard. What makes the Kailasa Temple so astonishing is the method of its construction. Rather than being built from the ground up, it was excavated from the top down, with artisans removing over 880 million pounds of rock to reveal the masterpiece within. The precision and scale of the carvings suggest an almost superhuman level of skill, with some researchers speculating that it may have been created using advanced tools or techniques lost to time. The temple's elaborate carvings depict scenes from Hindu mythology, but its creation remains shrouded in mystery. How did the builders achieve such symmetry and detail without modern machinery? Was it the work of thousands of laborers over decades, or was there a secret technique that has since been forgotten? As we marvel at this monumental achievement, the Kailasa Temple leaves us wondering how much of ancient innovation we have yet to rediscover. Rising from the lowest plains of northern China, the Shimao Pyramid is a recent and stunning archaeological discovery that challenges our understanding of ancient history. Built over 4,000 years ago, this sprawling structure is part of a massive city, covering nearly 1,000 acres. Unlike most pyramids, Shimao's step terraces are fortified with high stone walls, suggesting a mix of ceremonial and defensive purposes. What makes Shimao truly fascinating are its intricate carvings and jade artifacts, hinting at a culture advanced in both art and engineering. The site predates the Great Wall by centuries, yet its creators remain largely unknown. As we ponder this ancient mystery, we move from China's enigmatic past to the deserts of Egypt, where another pyramid challenges conventional history, the Black Pyramid. Hidden among the sands of Dashur, the Black Pyramid of Amenemhat III stands as a haunting relic of ancient Egypt. Unlike its more famous counterparts, this pyramid's blackened, crumbling exterior reveals a tragic design flaw. Constructed using mud bricks encased in limestone, its inner chambers began to collapse shortly after completion, leaving it abandoned. Despite its ruined state, the Black Pyramid holds secrets. Its burial chambers are among the most complex ever built, featuring intricate passageways and false doors meant to thwart tomb robbers. Was it an experiment in architecture gone wrong, or does it hold a deeper purpose? As the sands whisper its secrets, we turn to the cliffside marvels of New Mexico, where ancient ingenuity meets rugged beauty. Nestled in the rocky canyons of New Mexico, the Bandelier cliff dwellings tell the story of a resilient people who thrived in an unforgiving landscape. These dwellings, carved into volcanic tuff over 800 years ago by the ancestral Puebloans, feature rooms, kivas, and storerooms embedded in the cliffs. What stands out is their harmony with the natural environment. The dwellings are accessible by ladders and trails, hinting at a community that prioritized defense and sustainability. The carvings and petroglyphs left behind provide glimpses into their spiritual lives, though the reasons for their eventual departure remain a mystery. As we leave these cliffs behind, we travel to Malta, where ancient temples hold their own enigmatic allure. Perched on a hill overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, the Hagar Qim temples in Malta are among the oldest freestanding structures in the world. Dating back over 5,000 years, these limestone temples feature massive stone slabs, some weighing up to 44,000 pounds, arranged with stunning precision. The temples align with celestial events, suggesting an advanced understanding of astronomy. Intricate carvings of spirals and animal figures add an artistic touch, hinting at a deep spiritual connection to the cosmos. Despite their age and significance, little is known about the people who built them. From these ancient stones, we move to another enigma. So get ready. In the quiet countryside of Brittany, France, lies one of the world's most enigmatic prehistoric sites, the Karnak stones. Stretching over 2 miles, this arrangement of more than 3,000 upright stones, or menhirs, is the largest collection of its kind on Earth. The stones, some weighing over 110,000 pounds and standing up to 15 feet tall, were erected over 7,000 years ago. But who built them, and why? Some theories suggest the Karnak stones were a massive astronomical observatory, aligning with the solstices and celestial bodies. Others believe they served as a spiritual site, with the stones symbolizing an eternal connection to the gods or the afterlife. Local legends even claim the stones were an ancient army turned to stone by a sorcerer. What's baffling is the precision and effort required to transport and arrange these massive stones without advanced tools. As the mysteries of Karnak linger, we journey to a different kind of precision, the star forts whose symmetrical beauty hides untold secrets. With their distinctive star-shaped designs, star forts are a marvel of military engineering that emerged during the Renaissance. These geometrically perfect fortresses, found all over the world, were built to withstand the advent of gunpowder artillery. But their purpose and construction go beyond mere defense. From Fort Bourtange in the Netherlands to the Goryokaku Fort in Japan, these forts are steeped in mystery and precision. The geometry of star forts is mesmerizing. Their angular bastions and moats create an almost otherworldly symmetry, blending function with art. But how did their architects achieve such mathematical perfection centuries ago? Some believe these designs hold esoteric meanings with links to sacred geometry and even the stars themselves. Others see them as symbols of power and control designed to project dominance. Picture this. In 1901, divers exploring an ancient shipwreck near a small Greek island pulled up what looked like a corroded lump of bronze. But this wasn't junk. It was the Antikythera mechanism, a device that's been called the world's first computer. Over 2,000 years old, this ancient Greek artifact was capable of predicting eclipses, tracking planets, and even calculating the timing of the Olympic Games. What's mind-blowing is its complexity. Over 30 interlocking bronze gears in an era where basic tools like pulleys were the height of innovation. It took modern imaging technology to fully understand its mechanics, and it's unlike anything else from that time. The sophistication of the mechanism suggests the Greeks had knowledge far beyond what we thought they did, or maybe they inherited it from an even older lost civilization. Some even speculate it's evidence of a technological golden age wiped from history. In any case, the Antikythera mechanism changed the way we view the ancient world. It shattered the myth of technological simplicity in antiquity, proving that brilliant engineering wasn't limited to the modern era. And it leaves us wondering what other incredible knowledge might have been lost to time. Let's jump from ancient Greece to South Asia, where one of the most mysterious civilizations of the ancient world once thrived. The Indus Valley civilization, dating back over 4,500 years, spanned parts of modern-day India and Pakistan. Unlike the chaotic sprawl of many ancient cities, the settlements of the Indus people were masterpieces of urban planning. They had grid-like streets, advanced drainage systems, and even public baths that rival modern sanitation. But here's the kicker. They left no grand palaces, temples, or monuments. Instead, their cities suggest a society remarkably egalitarian for its time, a complete mystery when compared to the power hierarchies of ancient Egypt or Mesopotamia. Even stranger is their sudden disappearance around 1900 BCE. What could have wiped out such an advanced civilization? Theories abound. Some point to climate change or shifting rivers. But then there's the more out-there speculation. Was this civilization so advanced that it even mastered nuclear technology? A controversial claim, yes, but a layer of vitrified material, stone that appears to have been melted by extreme heat, has been discovered at Mohenjo-Daro, one of the major Indus Valley sites. Some argue this is evidence of a catastrophic event, possibly even an ancient atomic blast. Is this far-fetched? Perhaps. But isn't the idea of a forgotten culture wielding knowledge so advanced it left no trace in later history tantalizing? And speaking of ancient knowledge that baffles modern science, let's take a closer look at the Lycurgus Cup. At first glance, it's a stunning Roman artifact from the 4th century CE, depicting a mythological scene. But what makes this cup extraordinary is its magical property. It changes color. In regular light, it glows a deep green, but hold it up to light, and it transforms into a brilliant ruby red. How is this possible? Scientists didn't figure it out until the 20th century. The secret lies in the glass itself, which contains tiny particles of gold and silver, on the nanoscale. Yes, nanotechnology in ancient Rome. The particles scatter light in specific ways, creating the color-changing effect. But here's the real head-scratcher. How did the artisans know how to achieve this? Was it a lucky accident, or did they understand the science of light and materials in a way we've long underestimated? Now imagine the possibilities. What if this wasn't just decorative? Could this technology have been applied in ways we haven't uncovered yet? Think optical devices, communication tools, or even scientific instruments. The Lycurgus Cup isn't just a marvel of art, it's a window into the mysterious, untapped potential of ancient ingenuity, leaving us to wonder what other secrets have slipped through history's cracks. And speaking of mysteries, let's move to the deserts of Nevada, where one discovery left scientists, skeptics, and conspiracy theorists scratching their heads. From ancient Rome, let's leap to Nevada in the early 20th century, where miners stumbled upon something both eerie and fascinating inside Lovelock Cave. Alongside thousands of artifacts, woven mats, duck decoys, and tools, were reports of massive human-like skeletons, some allegedly measuring over 8 feet tall. These discoveries gave rise to a chilling legend, the Siteka, a race of red-haired giants described in local Native American myths as cannibalistic enemies of the Paiute people. While scientists have verified many cultural artifacts from the cave, the claims of giant skeletons remain contentious. Some researchers suggest the giants were exaggerated interpretations of normal human remains, distorted by erosion or mineral deposits. But alternative theorists are not convinced. They point to missing or suppressed evidence, suggesting that these skeletons were destroyed or quietly removed to protect mainstream historical narratives. If true, this discovery challenges the idea that ancient humans were the only advanced species to roam the Earth. Were these so-called giants remnants of an unknown hominid species, a genetic anomaly, or even something extraterrestrial? The cave may hold answers, but it also guards its secrets well. And speaking of secrets hidden in the landscape, our next stop takes us high into the Andes, where an ancient city lay forgotten for centuries. Perched nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, Machu Picchu is a marvel of human ingenuity. Rediscovered in 1911 by explorer Hiram Bingham, this Inca city defies logic. Built without mortar, its perfectly cut stones fit together so tightly that even a knife blade can't slip between them. But the real mystery isn't just how it was built, it's why it was abandoned. Archaeologists believe Machu Picchu was a royal estate or sacred site, but no written records from the Inca survive to confirm its purpose. Some speculate it was a retreat for elite priests and rulers, while others think it served as a fortress during times of war. But alternative theories suggest something more intriguing. Could Machu Picchu have been an ancient observatory? Its alignment with celestial events, like the solstice sun perfectly illuminating specific temples, suggests a profound understanding of astronomy. Others claim it's a leftover relic of an even older civilization, one the Inca inherited and built upon. What's even stranger are the legends surrounding the Incas' knowledge of energy fields. Some believe Machu Picchu was strategically placed at a powerful energetic site, part of a global network of ancient energy grids. Whether or not you buy into those theories, one thing's for sure. Machu Picchu's construction and abandonment leave us with far more questions than answers. Now, let's leave the highlands of Peru and venture into Bronze Age Europe, where an enigmatic artifact was unearthed that might rewrite our understanding of the stars. Unearthed in 1999 in Germany, the Nebra Sky Disc is a 12-inch bronze artifact that has left archaeologists and astronomers scratching their heads. Adorned with gold symbols including the sun, moon, and stars, this 3,600-year-old object is considered the earliest known depiction of the cosmos. But this isn't just a piece of decorative art. Researchers believe the sky disk was used as an astronomical tool to track celestial events and perhaps align with the solar calendar. A striking accomplishment for the Bronze Age. What makes the disk even more perplexing is its advanced understanding of astronomy. It aligns with the summer and winter solstices when positioned with nearby landmarks, suggesting its creators had a deep knowledge of celestial patterns. Yet, this knowledge seems almost out of place for the era. Some theorists argue it points to a lost European civilization that predates recorded history. Could this disk represent more than an isolated find? Could it be a fragment of a forgotten tradition that bridged science and spirituality in ways we still don't fully grasp? Its mysterious origins and the precise craftsmanship hint at a complexity that rewrites our understanding of ancient Europe. Nestled in the cliffs of Maharashtra, India, the Ajanta Caves are a series of 29 rock-cut temples carved directly into the hillside over 2,000 years ago. What's astonishing is that these caves weren't just hollowed out, they were sculpted with extraordinary precision, down to the smallest detail. Statues, murals, and architectural elements were all created from a single piece of stone, yet they mirror the intricacy of structures that would normally require multiple materials and skilled laborers. How could this level of detail be achieved with tools available during that era? Some experts suggest that the artisans had advanced techniques for stone carving, possibly involving tools or methods that have been lost over time. Others propose more radical theories, that the Ajanta Caves might have been influenced by an ancient, now unknown, advanced culture. There's even speculation that they were aligned with astronomical events or energy grids, turning these temples into more than just places of worship. Adding to the mystery, the caves were abandoned for centuries and only rediscovered in 1819 by a British officer. How could such a monumental achievement vanish from history? The Ajanta Caves aren't just breathtaking, they're a puzzle, offering tantalizing glimpses of ancient knowledge and techniques we still don't fully understand. And speaking of rediscovery, few artifacts have unlocked as much hidden knowledge as a single slab of stone unearthed in Egypt, a find that would change our understanding of an entire civilization. In 1799, during Napoleon's campaign in Egypt, soldiers stumbled upon a discovery that would become one of the most important archaeological finds in history, the Rosetta Stone. This seemingly unassuming slab of granodiorite was inscribed with the same text in 3 scripts: Greek, Demotic, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. At the time, hieroglyphs were an enigma, their meanings long lost to history. But this stone held the key to unlocking them. The Greek text provided a critical starting point. Scholars, led by Jean-François Champollion, worked tirelessly to crack the code, piecing together the meanings of symbols and bringing the written language of ancient Egypt back to life. With this breakthrough, a whole civilization began to speak again, revealing details about their daily lives, religion, and governance. Without the Rosetta Stone, much of what we know about ancient Egypt would remain a mystery. But here's a twist. Some historians argue the stone may have been part of a larger set of inscriptions. What else might have been lost to history, and how much more could we learn if another Rosetta was unearthed? In 1947, a young Bedouin shepherd made a discovery that would shake the academic and religious world. Searching for a lost goat in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea, he stumbled upon clay jars containing ancient scrolls. These turned out to be the Dead Sea Scrolls, a collection of nearly 1,000 texts, dating back over 2,000 years. Among them were fragments of nearly every book of the Hebrew Bible, alongside texts describing the beliefs and practices of a mysterious Jewish sect. What makes the Dead Sea Scrolls so groundbreaking is their age and content. They are the oldest known manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible, pushing our understanding of its origins and development. But the scrolls also include apocalyptic writings, sectarian rules, and commentary that reveal a fascinating glimpse into the diversity of thought within ancient Judaism. Some scholars suggest these texts may have belonged to the Essenes, a Jewish sect mentioned by ancient historians. Others argue they were part of a larger library hidden during times of upheaval. Their discovery raised questions too. Why were they hidden in caves? Were they preserved intentionally to protect sacred knowledge, or simply forgotten relics of a turbulent era? Either way, the Dead Sea Scrolls bridge a crucial gap in religious and historical scholarship, connecting ancient texts to modern beliefs. And now let's move to the windswept fields of England, where an unearthed treasure changed the way we see the Anglo-Saxon world forever. In 1939, as World War II loomed, one of England's most astonishing archaeological discoveries emerged from the quiet Suffolk countryside. At Sutton Hoo, an amateur archaeologist unearthed a burial mound containing the remnants of a 7th century Anglo-Saxon ship and an extraordinary treasure hoard. Among the items were intricately crafted gold and garnet jewelry, a ceremonial helmet, a stunning shield, and a wealth of other artifacts. This wasn't just any burial. It was likely the final resting place of a high-ranking Anglo-Saxon king, possibly King Radwald of East Anglia. What makes the Sutton Hoo treasure so remarkable is how it transformed our understanding of the so-called Dark Ages. Far from being a time of stagnation, the artifacts revealed a sophisticated society with connections to the wider world. Some items were made from materials sourced as far as Byzantium and the Middle East, highlighting the extensive trade networks of the time. The craftsmanship of the helmet and jewelry rivaled anything found elsewhere in Europe, demonstrating the artistic and cultural achievements of Anglo-Saxon England. This find didn't just rewrite history, it gave new life to a period once thought to be shrouded in obscurity. But treasures don't just tell us about kings and warriors. Sometimes they uncover the daily realities of ancient trade and travel. For that, we head to the Mediterranean, where the depths of the sea revealed a ship that carried the world of the Bronze Age on board. Off the coast of Turkey, a discovery beneath 150 feet of water brought the late Bronze Age to life like never before. In the late 1980s, divers found the Uluburun shipwreck, a 3,300-year-old trading vessel carrying a cargo that reads like a shopping list for the ancient world. There were copper and tin ingots, used to make bronze, alongside Canaanite jars filled with resin, Egyptian glass beads, Cypriot pottery, African ebony, and even Baltic amber. The ship's contents represented a vast network of trade routes connecting the Mediterranean, the Near East, and beyond. What makes the Uluburun shipwreck so captivating is its completeness. It's not just fragments of a past life, it's a frozen moment of Bronze Age commerce. The sheer variety of goods on board paints a vivid picture of how interconnected these ancient civilizations were. And let's not forget the mystery of the ship itself. Where was it headed? Who were the crew? Some suggest it may have been a royal trade vessel, given the luxurious goods aboard, including a gold scarab bearing the name of Nefertiti. The Uluburun wreck reminds us that history isn't just written in grand monuments or famous battles. Sometimes it's hidden in the cargo of a ship, preserved beneath the waves, offering us a rare glimpse into the everyday interactions that shaped the ancient world. Discovered in 1961 in a Neolithic site in Romania, the Tartaria tablets have stirred debates for decades. These small clay slabs, etched with intricate symbols, are thought to date back to 5300 BCE, making them potentially the oldest known examples of writing in human history, if they are writing at all. Some scholars argue these symbols are an early precursor to Sumerian cuneiform, suggesting that literacy might have originated in Europe before spreading to Mesopotamia. Others, however, believe the marks are purely decorative or represent a primitive counting system. But here's where things get even more intriguing. The symbols bear a striking resemblance to markings found in far-off cultures, leading some to speculate about ancient cultural exchanges, or even extraterrestrial influence. Could the tablets be evidence of a forgotten, highly advanced civilization? Or are they part of a larger, interconnected network of knowledge we've only begun to uncover? The mystery of their meaning, and how they fit into the story of early human development, continues to fuel debate and wild speculation. And speaking of enigmatic symbols, let's move across the Atlantic to New Hampshire, where a stone covered in strange carvings has kept archaeologists guessing for over a century. In 1872, while digging a fence post near Lake Winnipesaukee, workers unearthed a peculiar egg-shaped stone unlike anything they'd ever seen. The Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone, as it's now called, is carved with intricate symbols, including depictions of arrows, a spiral, and what some believe is a human face. What makes it truly unique is the craftsmanship. It's perfectly smooth, with holes drilled so precisely that even modern tools would struggle to replicate them. The stone's origins remain unknown. Some suggest it's a Native American artifact, created to commemorate an important event or serve as a ritual object. Others believe it could have been brought to the area by early European settlers or explorers. But conspiracy theories abound. Could this artifact be evidence of ancient contact with advanced technology? Or is it a remnant of an unknown culture whose knowledge has vanished without a trace? Despite numerous investigations, the purpose and creators of the Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone remain a puzzle, one that seems to invite more questions than answers. And just as this enigmatic stone challenges our understanding of early craftsmanship, an ancient list from Sumer tells a story so unbelievable, it borders on the mythical. In the heart of Mesopotamia, archaeologists uncovered a text so strange it has puzzled historians for decades. Known as the Sumerian Kings List, this ancient cuneiform inscription recounts the reigns of Sumerian rulers. But here's the twist: some of these kings are said to have ruled for thousands of years. One king, Alulim, is recorded to have reigned for 28,800 years, while others clocked in at similarly absurd lengths. The list blurs the line between myth and history, mixing verified rulers with seemingly supernatural figures. Was the King's List simply an elaborate myth meant to glorify Sumer's past? Or does it hint at something we've yet to understand about the ancient world? Some theorists suggest these exaggerated reigns point to a forgotten epoch where knowledge, perhaps even lifespan, was vastly different. Others entertain the idea of divine or extraterrestrial intervention, with these kings being more than human. While mainstream historians dismiss the list as legend, its existence teases us with the possibility of a lost narrative from the dawn of civilization. But Sumerians weren't the only ancient people who may have hinted at extraordinary beings. In the Alpine valley of Valcamonica, mysterious carvings raise questions about visitors from beyond our world. Nestled in northern Italy, Valcamonica is home to thousands of prehistoric petroglyphs etched into rock surfaces, some dating back as far as 8000 BCE. Among depictions of animals, humans, and daily life, a few stand out. Figures with what appear to be helmets, visors, and even antenna-like features. These ancient astronaut carvings have fueled speculation that early humans might have recorded encounters with extraterrestrial beings. Mainstream archaeologists argue these carvings likely depict ritual practices or symbolic representations of gods, but the striking resemblance to modern depictions of astronauts is hard to ignore. Could these be artistic interpretations of beings from the stars, or are they simply misunderstood motifs? Conspiracy theorists suggest these figures, along with similar artwork found around the world, could be evidence of contact with advanced beings who influenced early civilizations. Whether they represent aliens, gods, or something else entirely, the Valcamonica petroglyphs challenge us to rethink how ancient people viewed their world, and who or what they believed was watching over them. That's about it. Write in the comments which find surprised you the most. For more useful information, watch other videos.